welcome to another episode of Geeks with Glue Guns. You may have heard recently that we lost a great actor in the geek community, Leonard Nimoy. Live long and prosper. And he lived long and prospered. So I thought for this episode we would do something Star Trek related. We will be making a clock. So for this project, you can do it a couple different ways, but what I'm going to be using is this really generic clock that I got from Walmart. Nice silver border. The science officer symbol, Vulcan numbers, a little live long and prosper hand. I did this on address label sheets, so they're stickers, so it'd be easier to put on there. Then we also have scissors to cut it out, glue stick, a screwdriver to get the clock back off, a little X-Acto knife, paintbrushes and some paint, and something to paint on top so you don't get it on your surface. Now, I did this way, but you could also, pre-measure the clock base and design it on the computer so you don't have to do it, but I decided to do it this way. First, we're gonna have to get the clock back off. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And make sure not to lose your screws. You'll need those later. Okay, since this one has glass on it, we'll have to be a little more careful getting it off. Thing, put that off to the side with our screws. What I would do is turn it upside down and carefully take the glass out and then put it off to the side. Now we need to get the clock pieces off so we can get to our face. Should be able to just pop it off. Second hand, minute hand, and the hour hand, which is what we're going to be using for our little Spock hand. So this, you can use a little flathead to get it off. It was really sticky. If you do mangle this one, and you could always just replace it fully, but I would like to use it as a base so I get my numbers correct. Look how pretty it is behind there. Now we're gonna make it prettier. So we put that off to the side, and now we've got our little clock base. It's a little mangled, but I'm just gonna kind of do the craft thing and bend it back into place. There we go. So we got our little clock base, and now it's time to add our numbers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them out, and I'm gonna place them on there. You could design it on the computer if you think it would be easier. So we're just gonna cut these out. So now we got our numbers on there, good as we're gonna get them. Now we need to add our other piece. I'm going to bring my little scrap piece of paper over here. Still need that because it's got our hand on it. And now we are going to put our science officer symbol on it. So you gotta figure out where you want it based, remembering that you're going to have to either poke a hole in it for the gears. So try to minimize that. I'm gonna take my glue stick that nice and coated. And get that on there where I want it. Get it kind of in the middle. So then we're gonna have to turn it over and make sure we take our little X-Acto knife and make sure that hole stays there for the clock pieces. Then we pop it out carefully. Don't want to damage the rest of the design. Okay, so there we go. And now I am going to take our paints and mix the proper blue. I ripped off an extra piece of that folder and I've got my blue here. So now, just going to paint the rest of the clock, making sure to get around the numbers. If you think the numbers, you want them to be brighter, you can go over them with Sharpie. So I just got done painting this and, well, it works. If it were actually for a gift for someone, I probably would have actually printed out the color or printed out on a piece of paper and use as label, but technical problems, my printer's low on ink, so this will have to do. So now we're going to work on our little hour hand. So we're gonna take a little hour hand, we're gonna take our little hand. He is on here as a sticker. So if needed, you could do double edge, but I also really want to try and not weigh this down a lot. I'm gonna take the X-Acto knife and get most of those small areas. Okay, so we got our little hand cut out. And then I'm going to take the pointing finger, the first two, and use that as the main base. So, looks like that. And then if you want, you could take a little piece of scrap paper and do this so that you don't have any sticky parts on it. So now that I have that out, I'm just going to take a quick Sharpie to make it blend in better. Okay, so got a little live long and prosper hand. Now, I think it's kind of cute. So now let's put it back all together. So we're gonna make sure our clock is facing the right way. And I would put a quick, if you're really worried about it staying, you could put a quick thing of glue in there. I'm using glue stick because I don't want it to be lumpy. Might affect the gears. Slide that in there. Make sure it's straight. I'm using the holes as a guide. So we've got that, and then you're gonna put your pieces back in, make sure again they weren't really bent. You'll put them in first the way you put them out. So first the hour, and the minute, then our second hand. And make sure that they don't overlap each other because you don't want them to get stuck. Okay, so that'll be good. Then get that glass back in there. Then our face plate needs to go back. And now we need to put our screws back in. Okay, make sure that's on there. So there we have it, our sci-fi little Star Trek clock, respective Leonard Nimoy. So I hope to see you guys next time, and stay geeking.